Hi guys, UPSC introduced a new question format in Prelims 2022 exam. It asked 8 questions on numerical value answers. How many of the above pairs are correct? How many of the above statements are correct? It expanded this new question format by 6 times next year in Prelims 2023 by asking 47 questions from this single format alone and pulling down the cutoff to as low as 75 marks. Next year in Prelims 2024, UPSC stabilized this new format by just asking 18 questions from this format. But UPSC also introduced two new question formats in the Prelims 2024 paper. It asked 4 questions on 3 column pairing and 1 question on 3 statement assertion reasoning. If UPSC repeats its earlier trend of introducing a particular format in a particular year and then expanding it by 5 to 6 times the subsequent year, UPSC is likely to ask up to 30 questions from these two formats alone in Prelims 2025 exam and possibly pull down the cutoff to below 75 marks. These 15 minutes will understand the critical changes UPSC has done to this 3 statement assertion reasoning format, how you should prepare for this new format, and at the end, how we will be helping you to be well prepared for this new question format. But to understand the critical changes that UPSC has done to this new format, it's important for us to understand the pattern that UPSC has been following in the assertion reasoning questions in the past 2 years. UPSC has asked 31 questions on this format in the past 2 years, and the common mental blocks being faced by students are: number one, UPSC has been asking random facts and random information. Number two, even if the students are able to deduce that both the statements are correct, they are feeling stuck while deducing that whether statement 2 explains statement 1 or not. UPSC has followed the foundational statement framework in all the 31 questions it has asked in the past 2 years. UPSC treats statement 1 as the foundational statement, irrespective of whether it is right or wrong. The correct answer always depends on the way this foundational statement has been framed. Let's understand with the help of few examples. First, let's take up examples that can be solved from our conventional knowledge before jumping to the more random examples. The first scenario is, if the statement 1 is incorrect, then statement 2 is always correct. The reason being, UPSC has not followed mutual incorrectness in any of the 31 questions. Means statement 1 and statement 2 cannot be incorrect at the same time. Say for example, this question from Prelims 2024, in statement 1 it says atmosphere is heated more by incoming solar radiation than by terrestrial radiation. Now from our basic reading of NCRTs, we know that this is incorrect because the atmosphere is heated more by the terrestrial radiation. Statement 2, carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases in the atmosphere are good absorbers of long wave radiation, and we know that this is correct from our basic reading of NCRTs. Statement 1 is incorrect, statement 2 is correct. Option D is the only possible outcome. The next scenario is, if the second statement is incorrect, then the foundational statement, that is statement 1, is always correct. Say for example, in this question from Prelims 2023, statement 2 says 26th November 1949, Constituent Assembly of India set up a drafting committee under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to prepare a draft constitution of India. We know that it is on 26th of November 1949 that the Constitution of India was enacted. So statement 2 can never be correct. Statement 1, the Constitution Day is celebrated on 26th November every year to promote constitutional values of citizens. So given that statement 2 is incorrect, only one option remains, that is option C. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Moving ahead, the next scenario is statement 1 is correct. In this case, two possibilities can follow. Statement 2 explains statement 1, or statement 2 is correct but it doesn't explain statement 1. In both these cases, we use two tests. One is the compulsion test, another is the dependency test. Say for example, in this question from Prelims 2024, statement 1 says thickness of the troposphere at the equator is much greater compared to poles. Statement 2, at the equator, heat is transported to great heights by strong conventional currents. What does it imply? When statement 2 says that heat is transported to great heights by strong conventional currents, it means the height of troposphere will increase. In other words, thickness of troposphere will increase at the equator and it will be more compared to poles. So statement 2 is compulsorily making statement 1 to be correct. So in this case, option A is the correct answer. Both the statements are correct and statement 2 explains statement 1. Now jumping to the more random facts which UPSC has been throwing. This question was asked in Prelims 2024 and it had caught civil services aspirants completely off guard. Statement 1 said that many chewing gums found in the market are considered a source of environmental pollution. Statement 2, many chewing gums contain plastic as gum base. We are assuming that both the statements are random and we have no idea about any of the given statement, either the foundational statement or the second statement. Again, we use compulsion test and dependency test to probe the correct answer. When statement 2 says that many chewing gums contain plastic as gum base, so plastic is contained in those chewing gums. Statement 1, when it says that many chewing gums found in the market are considered a source of environmental pollution. So if plastic is found as base in any product, it is likely to cause environmental pollution. In this case, statement 2 is making statement 1, that is the foundational statement, compulsorily correct. So in this case, the correct answer is option A, that is both statement 1 and 2 are correct and statement 2 explains statement 1. This is another question asked by UPSC in Prelims 2024. Again, these were considered to be random questions by the students. Statement 1 says, Sumit pipeline is a strategic route for Persian Gulf oil and natural gas shipments to Europe. Statement 2, Sumit pipeline connects the Red Sea with the Mediterranean Sea. Now, assuming we have no idea of both the given statements, let's use the compulsion test and dependency test. When statement 1 says that Sumit pipeline is a strategic route for Persian Gulf oil and natural gas shipments to Europe, it depends on statement 2 to be correct, because as statement 2 narrates that it connects Red Sea with the Mediterranean Sea. As long as some pipeline won't connect Red Sea with the Mediterranean Sea, statement 1 cannot be correct, because for a pipeline to act as a strategic route between the Persian Gulf and Europe, there has to be a connecting route, a connecting link, or a connecting pipeline between the Red Sea and the Mediterranean Sea. So statement 1, that is the foundational statement, depends on statement 2 to be correct. So again, the correct answer is option A. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct and statement 2 explains statement 1. Again, this is another question asked in UPSC Prelims 2024. Again, the assumption is that both the statements are random. But in this case, neither the dependency test nor the compulsion test help us in finding the correct answer. So we move a step ahead and we use the contradiction test. We probe whether the given two statements contradict each other. Say for example, here statement 1 says that giant stars live much longer than dwarf stars, and statement 2 says compared to dwarf stars, giant stars have a greater rate of nuclear reactions. Now, if something has a greater rate of nuclear reaction or a greater rate of fuel consumption, what is the implication? Say, for example, if your car consumes a lot of fuel, then the fuel tank is likely to get empty sooner. The car is likely to run fewer distance. Similarly, when statement 1 says that giant stars live much longer than dwarf stars, it is contradicting statement 2, because when statement 2 says the rate of consumption of fuel is higher in giant stars, logically giant stars should be living much less. When contradiction test is positive, then the outcome is always either option C or option D, that is only one among the given statements is correct. Both the statements cannot be correct at the same time. You are in a 50-50 situation. Now how do you exactly mark the correct answer between option C and option D? Guys, this we'll understand in a few moments from now. Coming to the actual three statement assertion reasoning question that UPSC has asked in Prelims 2024, a very important change that UPSC has done here is statement 1, that is the foundational statement, is always correct. There is no option where statement 1 is being conveyed or portrayed as wrong. Another important change is both statement 2 and statement 3 can be incorrect at the same time. As we have seen in the previous format, both the statements were never incorrect at the same time. But here, as option D says, neither statement 2 nor statement 3 is correct is a possibility. Third important change that UPSC has done is statement 2 and statement 3 can mutually explain statement 1. Also, they can individually explain statement 1. मतलब statement 2 और statement 3 एक साथ statement 1 को explain कर सकते हैं, या फिर दोनों में से एक गलत हो सकता है और दोनों में से जो सही है सिर्फ वो statement 1 को explain कर सकता है. Let's understand with the example of this particular question itself. Here statement 1 states rainfall is one of the reasons for weathering of rocks. This is a statement of fact. Statement 2 says rainwater contains carbon dioxide in solution. Again, using dependency test and compulsion test, if rainwater contains carbon dioxide, then it is making statement 1 compulsorily correct, because due to carbon dioxide, processes like carbonation will take place and it will add to weathering. Statement 3, when it says rainwater contains atmospheric oxygen, again it compulsorily makes statement 1 correct, because of oxygen processes like oxidation will take place. So correct answer here is option A. Both statement 2 and 3 are correct and both of them explain statement 1. So the eventualities, all the 5 eventualities have been jotted down here. As you have just understood that statement 1 is always correct. First scenario is statement 2 is correct. First possibility, statement 3 can also be correct, and both statement 2 and statement 3 would explain statement 1. The correct answer would always be option A. Second eventuality, statement 2 is correct. Also, statement 3 is also correct at the same time, but only one among statement 2 and statement 3 explain statement 1. In this case, the answer would always be option B. Third eventuality is statement 2 is still correct and statement 3 is incorrect. In this case, the correct option would always be C. That is, only one of the statements 2 and 3 is correct, and that explains statement 1. Fourth eventuality is statement 2 is incorrect and statement 3 is correct. In this case, the correct answer will always be option C. Again, only one of the statement 2 and 3 is correct, and that explains statement 1. And fifth and the last eventuality is statement 2 is incorrect and statement 3 as well is incorrect. In this case, the correct answer will always be option D. That is, neither statement 2 nor statement 3 is correct. So guys, how do we tackle this new 3 statement assertion reasoning question format? We need to have consistent practice of compulsion test, dependency test, contradiction test, and other logical techniques that we'll see in a minute or two. So guys, here we call you out to say no to lazy tests which are not following the shifting patterns of the UPSC prelims paper. And here we take on the responsibility to build your prelims aptitude through the Demolish Prelims test series, which are based on the P.A.S.S framework. P.A.S.S framework stands for Prelims Aptitude Strengthening System, which consists foundational statement framework, compulsion test, dependency test, contradiction test, other logical techniques. Each test of Demolish Prelims program would have 6 questions on 3 statement assertion reasoning format, 24 questions on 3 column pairing, and 10 questions on symmetrical options. These formats we'll discuss in the subsequent video. Test series will have 12 sectional tests, 5 full length tests, and 3 CSAT tests. Also, the logic builder component of the program will focus on identifying extreme references, word association, odd one out, compatibility between given questions and options, arbitrary numerical values versus reasonable numerical values, feasibility of options, middle value rule, dealing with random options, and so on. So guys, Demolish Prelims program starts on 1st of January. It will consist of ranker super tests being conducted by IS and IPS rankers, logic builder sessions, performance builder sessions being conducted by psychologist Devani ma'am, 3P, that is predict prelims with PIB, plus supplementary current affairs, test series with P.A.S.S framework, PYQ mapping, where most important and repetitive micro themes will be covered from past 10 years. So guys, you can register for the Prelims 2025 Launchpad if you want to know more about Demolish Prelims program, or if you are just starting with your prelims preparation, it will give you a good jump start in your prelims prep. So thank you guys for sticking on till the very end. See you guys in the live sessions.